Okay, gang, I'm a bit behind on keeping up with the training log. So this training log is going to be number 12. It's for Thursday, October 12th, 2025. And this is going to get us caught up all the way going back to Thursday, September 18th. And I'll go through this pretty quickly. So going back to Thursday, the 18th of September, it was a max effort day. Used the straight bar bench press with extra large 3-inch fat grips on the bar. So what that does is it allows the bar to go deeper to the chest because of the fat grips on the bar where my hands are being placed. So it's a tougher press because of the extra depth caused by the fat grips. Did 225, worked my way up with a pause. Felt great, no problem. Flew up. Probably that feels like a pretty good opening lift for me, especially with the fat grips with the extra depth. And then moved on to some incline 3-inch axle bar presses. So with the axle bar, with it being 3 inches, it does the opposite. Because the bar is thicker, it's actually pausing on my chest in a higher spot, which makes it a little bit easier. But the way the weight is displacing through my hand and forearms because of the thickness of that bar makes it more challenging. Did 4 sets of that. Then we did some close grip parallel presses with the parallel bar. Some extra tricep work, dumbbell rows, barbell shrugs, supersetted with some face pulls and some just some quick biceps, abs, and calves, a couple supersets. And then that moves us to Sunday, which was September 21st. It was a max effort lower body. Just did a regular traditional back squat, maxed out at 275. Felt great. Followed that up with some front squats. 275, 285, I'm thinking of that being an opening lift for my squats. I definitely want to get, 300 or low 300s. 300 would be fine. Maybe hopefully maybe 300 on a second attempt. Then front squats, some safety bar good mornings, some ham raises, extensions, and then again, a little bit of circuit of some abs, core, and that's basically it. Did some curls, sit-ups, some farmer carries, and some reverse hypers. Tuesday, September 23rd, it was dynamic effort upper body. We did some speed bench with the parallel bar with a very wide grip. Took 75% of 250, which is 190 pounds, 8 sets of triples, followed up with some heavy flat bench presses, 5x5s, some overhead barbell presses, landmine rows, and then some additional tricep work and a little bit of grip work after that. Wednesday, the 24th of September, this was dynamic effort lower body. So we did some squats, 220 for 12 sets of doubles. So that gives me 12 first attempts, a lot of practice with the squatting. Make sure that getting full depth, exploding out of the bottom, keeping good acceleration on the bar, a lot of good practice in squats. And then followed up with some speed pulls off of 2 mats. So it's about 3 inches off the floor. The mats are about 1.5 inches each. 335 sumo stance, 10 sets of singles. So again, I will be doing a sumo stance in competition. So this gives me 10 exposures to the sumo stance. Doing them off the mats puts me in a little more difficult pulling position, takes away some leg drive, so it's good practice. Then I followed that up with 3 sets of 4 pause squats. Nice deep squat, pause, full pause at the bottom, regular straight bar, 175. And then I kind of ran out of time at that point, but I got the major work. Brings us back to Thursday, so September 25th, max effort, back to the straight bar with the fat grips again. But the week before I did 225, this week I did 235. Full pause, felt great, everything moved well. Went back to the axle bar on the incline, increased the weight by 10 pounds, did 5 sets 10, and then went back to the parallel close grip uh, bar for tricep work on the bench. Again, followed it up with some rows, some face pulls, and a little bit of biceps, abs, and calves. Just a little pump work. And then brings us to Sunday, September 28th, max effort lower body, sumo deadlift, 445. The first time I went to pull it, I worked my way up. I think I did a 405. My last couple sets were 405 for a single, 425 for a single. Went to pull the 445, and I had to reset myself. I pulled, it didn't move. I just walked away from the bar, came back, reset myself up, and pulled the 445 grip and everything held up. But it did kind of bug me that it didn't go on my first pull. In my mind that it doesn't count. So I need to get some more heavy reps in the plus 400 before competition. Nothing crazy. I'm not going to try the 445 or anything heavier than that before the competition. It's only about 16 days out, but I got to get some 405 pulls, and really, I just want to get some good confidence in those low 400s. And I know I can definitely pull. It's not going to be an issue, but my setup has to be perfect if I want to get into the 440, 450 range. Did some Bulgarian split squats, some good mornings, Nordic leg curls, and then did some reverse hypers. Brings us to Tuesday, the 30th, which was just 2 days ago. We did dynamic effort upper body, speed bench with the parallel bar. 80% of 250 is 200 pounds, and we did 12 sets of 2. So got a lot of good practice on that first rep, which is great. Even though it's a parallel bar, it went really well. Paused the reps at the bottom, paused everyone, paused it, exploded it, paused it, exploded it. So really getting comfortable with holding the weight at the bottom of the lift, and then did some more heavy dumbbell presses, overhead presses, some landmine rows, rolling tricep extensions, did some shrugs, and more tricep work. And then yesterday, which was Wednesday, show what the dates right here. Yep. Wednesday, yesterday, speed work, dynamic effort, lower body, did squats, 240 pounds for 10 singles. Brought it down, exploded it up. Again, gave me 10 exposures to the squat technique, which was very helpful. And then I did speed pulls off the 2 mats again with the sumo stands, 10 singles at 345, which was fine. Everything went well. The one thing I did notice, and that's all I had time for, I ran out of time, but at least I got the major work. I got the dynamic squats in, and I got my speeds. I am noticing, not just on the lower body day, but the upper body day, and I have mentioned this in previous videos, it is taking me a long time to warm up, to get the body really primed for the heavy lifts. It's taking a lot of stretching, a lot of warm-ups, push-ups, lighter weights, a lot of sets leading up to even the dynamic effort. So really going to have to make sure that I can get into that warm-up room on competition day, take my time, and get a lot of repetitions. I generally, competition day, just kind of warm up to my opening lift and then shut it down. I'm not going to be able to do that this time. My body just requires more warm-up work, a lot more. So I have to be careful not to get lazy with that. And then that brings us to today, Thursday, max effort day. So now my approach is I wanted to get at least 7 lifts in, almost doing like a circa max type day Circumax based on the Westside Barbell conjugate training, but I'm not using any accommodating resistance. Considered it using chains or bands, but I really want to feel the weight at the bottom on my max effort days because that's my hardest point. So I didn't want to take the weight off, deload the bottom. And I understand the concept of deloading the bottom so I can work on my speed and acceleration out of the bottom and accommodate the resistance at the top. But because I haven't competed in so long, over 10 years, I think at this point, it's more important for me to be able to pause the weight on the bench press on my chest at full load and get used to holding that weight and then accelerating without any deload at the bottom. So what I did was I got to, which was probably going to be my opening lift, 225. I did it for a double, paused both reps. I went to 230, did it for a double, paused both reps. That's 4 reps. Then I went to 235 with a pause, nailed it. That's 5 reps. 240, same thing, 245. All felt great. The 245 felt fantastic. I felt like I had a lot more in the tank. That was my 7 reps. I shut it down, and that's good. It left me with a good feeling and with a lot of confidence. Went back to the axle bar. This will be the last time I hit the axle bar before competition, and did 5 sets of 10, added some more weight to it. Went back, did some close grip with the parallel bar for the final time. Dumbbell rows, upright rows, face pulls, and then just some light biceps, abs, and calves. And that's I'm actually going to get in tomorrow morning and do some mobility work. I have a rare opportunity to have some extra time in the morning, which I usually don't on Fridays, but I'm going to do some mobility work. Probably do some neck work and just some odds and grip strength, some odds and ends stuff that a little bit of band work for the glutes, things like that I haven't been able to do quite as much as I would like to, just because of schedule and prioritizing the big lifts and the bigger accessory work lifts. So getting close, but everything is on track. All my openers feel great, even where I feel like I would be happy ending the meet. So for the squat, like I said, 300, that would be fantastic. Feel very good about that. For the bench, 240 to 250, right? I've done that. I've hit them, done them here. So I feel confident in that. I feel like I have more. The 445, I was able to do it on the deadlift. But if I can get 300, say even 240 on the bench and even 425 on the deadlifts, that would be 300 plus the 240 is 540 plus another 420. That would put me at 960 total, which my goal was to be in the mid 900s. So 950 or better would, I would be very, very happy with for the first time back. And then that sets me up to working toward 1,000 if I wanted to continue and do another meet relatively, quickly within the next 3-4 months. So all on track, still working hard. I am going to start tapering the volume. I'll be doing more hitting opening lifts and really working on keeping the joints healthy and feeling good. And I have to continue on. I'm not doing any cardio, but I'm doing walking because I have to keep my weight in check. I am under the 181, close, but anywhere from 178 to 180. I'd like to get a little bit lighter, just so I have more wiggle room because I want to do the weigh-in the night before, and still plenty of time. So still got over 2 weeks. So in a very good spot. All right, gang, I will keep you updated, but this is training log number 12. I know I've covered a lot of dates. I just fell behind on things. We had an issue with the camera. I had to order a new camera. By the time I I got it in. Busy, busy, busy. All right, folks. Talk to you soon.